I love Clash of Clans, especially builder base, but Supercell doesn't really spend much time on it. They create all the cool skins and sceneries for home village, but builder base sits on the other side alone and very sad. So I decided to help Supercell and make a new skin for Battle Machine, or at least give them an idea. So I'm thinking something like this or this, medieval kind of pretty clean armor with red accents, probably a cape I guess, and all the other good stuff. I'll try to make it somewhat realistic because it's an idea anyways and I want it to look as cool as possible. I actually cannot wait to see what I can cook with this, so let's dive into the video. First, let's drop the original battle machine. There we go. I'm just gonna clean this up, remove stuff I don't need. Also remove the lightning for now. There we go. The idea is to make shapes for every part of the armor. I'm gonna make this white and create another piece. There we go. I'm gonna make this a darker white and add the shadows. Okay, so this is looking nice so far. I have to do this on the whole thing. The only hard part here is to match the perspective, and other than that it is just creating the shapes and adding shadows with the exposure. Let's make the chest piece. There we go. Same thing on the hands. Now with the hue and saturation, I'm gonna make some parts of the battle machine a bit darker. Looking at the reference images, this pointy shoes is a pretty common thing, so I'm just gonna do it with a normal brush. There we go. I'm just gonna paint it black first of all. Now I'm gonna pick the colors from the battle machine and I'm just gonna paint it. And it looks nice. Now I'll try to make a shape for the cape. Same technique here, just using the pen tool. I'll probably make this red and remove it from the front. So I've added the shapes on every part of the armor, and now it's time to add shadows, highlights, textures and all that good stuff. For reference image, I'm gonna drop the picture of this guy. I'm just gonna have him on the side and I'm gonna pick colors from his armor. Just pick the color from the picture and clip it on the shape. I'm of course using soft brush and it is looking pretty nice. I'm gonna repeat the same thing on every part of the armor. Same thing on here. Same thing here. I'm gonna add the normal shadow on the cape. I've noticed that I have to fix some of the parts of the armor, like this one should be pretty dark. Let's add some more shadows on the armor with normal exposure. I'm using very soft brush and I'm gonna paint it here and there, try to look as good as possible. Shadows should be on the left side. I'm adding shadows here because hand is blocking the light on the right side. Let's add some more shadows here. Shadows on the shoulder. This will make it a lot more realistic. Now I'll try to add some kind of texture on the armor so it doesn't look so perfect. Let's warp it because it looks pretty 2D right now. I'm just gonna turn down the opacity and paint some highlights. There we go. Same thing with the brush, nothing special here. I'm just gonna add the highlights on the right side. For the weapon that he is going to hold, I've searched a lot on Envato and found this axe that I think would look pretty cool on him. First, let's choose the angle and drop it on the canvas. I'm just gonna make it a tad bigger. There we go. Match the perspective. Now remove this hammer. There we go. Pretty easy stuff right now. Now let's remove the middle part of the axe so it looks like Battle Machine is actually holding it. We also have to remove the old hammer from his hands. There we go. Just normal brush right now. And it looks pretty good. Now let's add the shadows and drop the shield for the right hand. I'm just gonna make it a tad bigger. Shadows on the left side. It's starting to look pretty cool, but I'm gonna make the shadows a bit more darker. I'm gonna add some more on the cape and it looks nice. These pieces need some more thickness so it doesn't look very thin. I just duplicated the same thing and made it black. I'm gonna add kind of second layer on the shield, just use the inner shadow. There we go. The whole thing is looking pretty cool, but I'm gonna add some kind of lines on the armor pieces with lots of screws. I'm gonna do it with inner stroke and I'm gonna add the inner shadow as well so it has more depth. I did the same thing on every piece. Now I have to make screws. I'm just gonna add inner shadow, color overlay and drop shadow on the layer. After doing that, when you place the circle on the layer, it's gonna look like a screw. This was hands down the most satisfying moment while editing this battle machine. There we go, last two. Now I have to add the shadows on the lines, nothing special here. I also want to add the second layer on the chest piece. I don't know if it would look good, but I'll try. Just gonna make it darker and remove the shadow on the bottom part. It looked pretty cool, so I added the same thing on the bottom layers. We are missing the helmet, of course. I'm just gonna remove it from his face. There we go. Paint the back of it with black. Let's add shadows inside because it should be pretty dark. Shadows here. Let's make it the same color as the armor. Add shadows on the left side and highlights on the right side. I'm gonna make the top part red, of course. Normal hue and saturation. I'm gonna make his shirt black as well. And for the controllers, I want to make the spikes, same thing that I did with the shapes, just make a shape and add colors, highlights and all the other textures. I want the spike to be separated, so I added this shadow. I also want to add this wood to kind of match with the axe, and I think it looks pretty nice. Now one thing left is to add the lightning on the axe. Just duplicate, remove it from some parts. I want to add one on the top, there we go, make it a tad bigger. Same thing, add the screen on it, remove it from this part so it doesn't look overwhelming. Let's add the highlights caused by the lightning and finally the camera raw filters. And this is the final result. I love how it turned out. The armor, helmet, lightning. I think it looks pretty cool and maybe it deserves to be an actual skin in the future. Just maybe. I'm not here to force you, but if you want to support my channel, consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. That motivates me a lot and makes me want to do more and more videos. Thank you so much for watching and I really hope that I'll see you in the next video.